Hi, welcome to Planetary Calendar Astrology. I'm Ralph Demetrius, and this is Lonnie Demetrius. We're doing the forecast for April. We're going to do it in a series of weeks. So we're going to look at the overall view of the month. What did we actually write about it a year and a half ago when we were forecasting this? The first 7 days of the month are filled with aspects, including Mercury turning direct on the 7th. So Mercury is moving slowly in the early part of the month, so those kinds of communication issues will take extra time and effort to make them work. Venus turns direct on the 12th. So after that, all the planets are moving forward, so we're going to be entering a time when projects can be moved along very easily. Now, the full moon, which is when on the 12th, is going to align with the star Spica. This is the brightest star in the constellation Virgo. It's a very powerful feminine archetype, so expect women's issues to be highlighted. Before and after the Taurus ingress, there are numerous aspects, so expect those few days right around when the sun goes into Taurus to be stressful. By the new moon on the 27th, there may be a series of teetering on the edge between the past and the future. And when Venus enters Aries on the 30th, there will be a sense of finally moving beyond that.
And so we start off the week of the 13th to the 19th with Passover and Palm Sunday on the same day. Passover begins. It's unusual for that to happen at this exact same time. But we've got a challenging day with the moon, so that means emotional stuff is going to square you a little bit. Square Mars, square Pluto. They're pretty heavy hitters. And but that void, of course, is just in the early morning, so I don't think that's going to be a factor. We don't need that in there. And look at that clear day on the 14th.
Yeah, before we leave the 13th, make sure we mention that the moon is in the sign of the eagle, aka the scorpion. So it is a lot about feminine power. So it's a good day for getting stuff done. Just realize that this may not be the day when she's sitting around on the couch.
Well, and what's really interesting to me is that the moon is squaring both the modern ruler and the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So this is a day to kind of work with your power.
Exactly, really. And then the Monday, the 14th, there's nothing going on to figure the aspects before and after that are really what's the players. And the aspects the next day on the 15th, whoa.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on days like that on the 14th, when there's really nothing. I mean, the 8th didn't have too many aspects either, but this one really doesn't even have the tail end of a void or a change of a sign or anything like that. What's your experience of days like that? I kind of feel like it's just a clear slate. Things just go through without any planetary interference, of course, depending on where that moon is relative to your chart. So, drop us a little note. Let us know.
Then on the 15th, Mercury is going to enter Aries. And what degree is it? I was going to say, what degree does it enter Aries? It enters Aries at 0 degrees.
It's a trick question.
It's a trick question. There's tons of aspects to the moon that day, very, very positive aspects. There's only one challenging aspect, which is the opposition to Uranus. There's a parallel going on between Mars and Jupiter. So the real big player that day is that Mercury changing sign. And when Mercury changes sign, there can be some disruption. There can be a little bit of static and things like that. And it's moving into Aries, so it's one of the feisty positions, just so you know. It's like a position where people like to speak up.
Well, and that, transition from the Scorpio moon to the Sag moon is always one that makes you notice.
The good thing is that the void, of course, is very short in the course of the day, so it's going to be in that...
At the end of the day.
The eagle moon, that powerful moon all day long. Yeah.
Definitely after the business day.
Yeah, Mars is definitely making his or her point on that day. The feminine expression of Mars is Bellona, who is a favorite in many of the video games. So,
not to be confused with baloney, which is something else altogether.
Very different.
So let's go on to the 16th when we have that full-on Sag moon. I love a Sag moon.
Oh, yes.
It just stretches you emotionally. It just gives you a infusion of optimism or activity or, however you can manifest that in your life, it always is something that puts a smile back on my face anyway.
Well, before Constantine's priest changed around the geometry of astrology, the sun and the moon both had two rulers, as they say, so they had two detriments, so two career signs, two family signs. The masculine sign of the moon was Sagittarius. And so connected it to Jupiter. There was a relationship they shared. The sun, the moon, and Jupiter shared signs. And anyone who's been an astrologer for a long time, has worked with a lot of clients, knows what a positive sign the moon in Sagittarius is. It's flexible, it's optimistic, it's adaptable, it's very lunar in that way. Don't you
And
think?
Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter,
Yeah, exactly.
so it has all those Jupiterian qualities to it. It's a lovely feeling, and you're gonna appreciate that because on the 17th, Mars enters Leo,
Yay.
which Mars likes Leo.
Oh, yes.
Mars thinks he's the sun anyway, so he might as well. Everybody should revolve around Mars. So if he's in the sign of the sun, he really, really likes that, and that way also the Mars is going to be in the same element as the moon. So that's going to be a heartfelt, fiery day. What did you write about it?
Well, you did kind of bypass the 16th. You just kind of skipped over the 16th when Mercury's going to conjunct Neptune. Just saying.
I did say it was a full day of the Jupiter moon, so enjoy.
That's true. You did. I think that Mercury.
I really did.
That Mercury conjunct Neptune's a real thing.
See, my Mercury said it.
Yes, that's true.
But they said it to Neptune.
To Neptune.
And that's why you didn't hear it. Okay.
So, Mars goes into Leo. So
there
what
was
do we
no
say?
letter there, so I wasn't tossing it to you.
What have you done for me lately? So Mars enters on the 17th. Mars enters Leo. So hopefully you've gotten the feel of the home projects done during the Mars and the Crab transit, and now it's just painting your colors and enjoying all your hard work. Mars in Leos tends to be dramatic but generous.
Is it helpful to know that we're recording this during a Voida course?
Yes.
A gray box Voida course that's long.
We may jump around just a little bit.
If we're more fun than usual,
yes, that's
that
probably
might
why.
be why.
Yes. Now, on the Friday, which is Good Friday, and it's also Orthodox Good Friday, the moon is going to move into Capricorn, the sea line, early in the day. The sun is going to be trine the moon in the course of the day. And
I wouldn't let him put a white circle on that day because of all those squares. But again, these are those squares that help you make those decisions and activate your plans. So we've got, Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury involved. Yeah. So communications and responsibilities and...
Yes.
Who knows?
And also that sun trine moon is very, very early in the day. You're going to still feel some of the benefits later in the day, but it's a fire trine, not a earth trine. So, but it's going to be a good industrious day. Get some stuff done. You're not going to be able to coast on that Friday.
Which is what a Capricorn moon is made for.
It's all about.
So that spills over into the 19th.
Yes.
Which is Saturday. Get those home things done.
Yes.
As the sun enters Taurus.
The cow, yes. And Mars is trine Neptune. Neptune's really isn't really getting to speak up, don't you think?
Neptune is moving along.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as Mercury and Mars pass over. We're really going to be able to kind of channel Neptune because, Neptune's really misunderstood. And we've been doing a lot of research recently about how Neptune affects us, how Neptune acts as a big major power. So we'll talk about that in the future.
Well, and I think Neptune and Aries, that combination together is going to make Neptune a lot more prominent in our lives.
I think so.
So that's your peek into April. Drop us a note if you have some observations about the questions we asked. You didn't know there was going to be a quiz. And if you haven't gotten your calendar, we have just a few left. Come see us at planetarycalendar.com. Hopefully we'll have the 2026 before too long.
Soon, yes.
The calendar is flying along. And if you haven't subscribed already on YouTube, go to YouTube /Planetary Calendar Astrology. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notifications. And let me know if you want us to put you on our reminder list.
And I have to say, in these current events, I think we all need more guidance than usual.
That's true.
So be well and have a wonderful